Welcome aboard, my name is Sharia, and you're listening to a brand new episode of the Aviation Files. Today we will discuss Chinese Airlines dividing up a 500-plane Airbus order, Lufthansa's increased use of the 747, an update on the Air Canada flight attendant situation we discussed last week, Southwest Airlines teaming up with China Airlines, and a close call near collision in Japan. Without further ado, let's begin. China's biggest airlines have started dividing up a 500-plane mega order for Airbus SE jets from a deal that Beijing is still looking for an opportune time to announce months after it came together. The massive order involves China Southern Airlines, Air China, China Eastern Airlines, Xiamen Airlines, and Sichuan Airlines, representing one of the largest aircraft orders in recent aviation history. The deal has been in development for months, with negotiations reportedly completed, but the formal announcement delayed due to political considerations. Boeing leads Airbus with 739 orders so far in 2025 versus its 501, aided by large deals influenced by US President Donald Trump, making this potential Chinese order particularly significant for Airbus's competitive position. The airlines are currently working through the complex process of determining which carrier will receive which aircraft types and quantities from the massive order. The distribution reflects each airline's route network requirements and strategic objectives, with larger carriers like China Eastern and China Southern likely claiming significant portions of the order. China Eastern Airlines operates a fleet of 671 aircraft. The carrier is the major Airbus operator, having a total of 466 Airbus aircraft in its fleet, positioning it as a natural recipient for a substantial portion of this new Airbus order. The carrier's existing Airbus preference makes it a key player in the distribution discussions. The timing of the formal announcement remains tied to a broader China-US trade relation issue and diplomatic considerations. Beijing appears to be waiting for an opportune moment to announce the deal, possibly as part of a broader trade negotiation or diplomatic initiative. Airbus has, however, increased its share of sales to China, helped by a final assembly line in Tianjin for its popular A320 family aircraft. This local manufacturing presence provides Airbus with strategic advantages in the Chinese market and may have influenced the carrier's preferences for Airbus aircraft in this mega order. The Chinese order comes at a crucial moment for both aircraft manufacturers as the global aviation industry continues its post-pandemic recovery. For Airbus, securing this massive Chinese order would provide significant production stability and help narrow the gap with Boeing in the annual order competition. The deal would also strengthen Airbus's position in one of the world's most important aviation markets. The order's size reflects China's growing domestic air travel market and the expansion plans of its major carriers. Chinese airlines are preparing for continued growth in both domestic and international travel, requiring substantial fleet additions to meet anticipated demand. The preference for Airbus aircraft also signals Chinese carriers' confidence in the European manufacturer's product line and after-sales support. The delayed announcement strategy demonstrates Beijing's sophisticated approach to international trade relations, using major commercial deals as diplomatic tools. This timing flexibility allows China to maximize the political value of the announcement, potentially using it to influence broader US-China trade discussions or to respond to specific political developments. The ripple effect of this order will extend beyond the immediate carriers involved, potentially influencing aircraft pricing, delivery schedules, and competitive dynamics throughout the industry. Suppliers, lessors, and other manufacturers will closely watch how this mega deal unfolds and impacts the broader aviation ecosystem. Next up, let's talk about Lufthansa Airlines. While most airlines continue retiring their Boeing 747 fleets, Lufthansa is actually increasing its 747 operations in 2025 compared to 2024. While the older 747-400 is operating fewer flights this August, this deficit is more than offset by the growth of 747-8 flights, which has risen from 760 in August 2024 to 806 in 2025. The German carrier currently operates 27 aircraft made up of 19 Boeing 747-8 aircraft and 8 Boeing 747-400 aircraft, all based in Frankfurt. These aircraft operate flights to destinations in the Americas and select flights to India. This makes Lufthansa the world's largest operator of passenger 747s. Lufthansa has chosen to operate them until the arrival of the Boeing 777-9, expected to begin deliveries in 2026. Until then, these 747-400s continue to offer value despite their dated technology and environmental footprint. The airline is using the 747s as bridge capacity while waiting for next-generation aircraft deliveries. Effective 29th March 2026, the Boeing 747-400 is expected to replace the high-capacity Airbus A340-600 between Frankfurt and Hong Kong for the northern summer of 2026. Meanwhile, Lufthansa will also swap out the A340-600 on service between Frankfurt and Shanghai Pudong, effective 29th March 2026. These route changes demonstrate the airline's continued confidence in the 747's operational capabilities. According to data from aviation analytics company Cirium, your absolute best bet for flying a Boeing 747 in 2025 is to pick a flight operated by the German carrier Lufthansa, sporting the largest fleet of passenger 747s in the world, as mentioned. The range of flights available makes it possible to travel on the iconic aircraft in many locations. Tokyo Haneda Airport will maintain its daily schedule for the Boeing 747-8 throughout 2025, a rare treat in today's aviation landscape. Lufthansa's decision to keep its remaining 7 of these aircraft operating on routes from Haneda to both Frankfurt and Munich means travelers still have opportunities to experience the world's most iconic passenger aircraft. Lufthansa's decision to increase 747 operations reflects careful economic calculations rather than nostalgia. The airline has found that these aircraft remain profitable on specific high-density long-haul routes, where their large capacity and range capabilities provide operational advantages. The 747-8 in particular offers superior economics compared to the older 747-400 variant, explaining why its utilization has increased more significantly. The German carrier's strategy also benefits from Frankfurt's position as a major European hub, where the 747's high capacity helps manage slot-constrained operations efficiently. By maximizing passenger throughput per flight, Lufthansa can better utilize its valuable Frankfurt slots while serving high-demand destinations. This approach allows the airline to maintain competitive frequency on key routes without requiring additional slot allocations. Maintenance and operational expertise represent another factor in Lufthansa's continued 747 operations. The airline has maintained an extensive 747 maintenance capabilities and crew training programs, making it economically feasible to continue operating these aircraft. This institutional knowledge becomes increasingly valuable as fewer airlines operate the type, potentially creating maintenance and crew training opportunities for other carriers. The environmental considerations, while significant, are balanced against the aircraft's operational utility and the timeline for replacement aircraft deliveries. Lufthansa acknowledges the 747's higher fuel consumption and emissions compared to newer aircraft, but views this as a temporary situation until more efficient replacements become viable. The airline's commitment to sustainability remains intact, with the 747 serving necessary bridge capacity during the transition period. Now, let's revisit the Air Canada situation we talked about last week. Following the dramatic August 2025 strike that disrupted Air Canada operations nationwide, a tentative agreement has been reached to end the contract dispute between Air Canada and its flight attendants, both the airline and the Canadian Union of Public Employees announced Tuesday. Details of the deal include proposed pay increases and at least 60 minutes of ground pay before each flight. However, the tentative agreement, which allowed the carrier to restore some normalcy, may still be rejected by union members when they vote on the deal. This uncertainty continues to create operational challenges for Canada's largest airline. The recent strike was particularly disruptive, with 99.7% of employees voted in favor of striking. On August 13th, the union served Air Canada with a 72-hour strike notice, which responded with a 72-hour lockout notice. Expecting a strike, Air Canada began cancelling flights in the following days, with 623 cancelled by the night of August 15th and all 700 from August 16th. The situation became even more complex when the union, representing thousands of striking Air Canada flight attendants, says it will risk jail time and fines but will not order its members back to work, despite the Federal Labor Relations Board calling the strike illegal. This defiance of government orders created unprecedented tensions between the union, airline, and federal authorities. Air Canada said it will gradually restart its operations today after reaching a mediated agreement with the Canadian Union of Public Employees, through a process overseen by mutually agreed-to mediator William Kaplan. The mediated settlement allowed operations to resume, but the tentative nature of the agreement means further disruptions remain possible if union members reject the deal in their ratification vote. The labor dispute centered on several critical issues beyond basic compensation. Flight attendants raised concerns about work-life balance, with many citing excessive scheduling demands and inadequate rest periods between flights. The union argued that staffing levels had not kept pace with Air Canada's post-pandemic recovery, leading to increased workloads and stress for existing crew members. These operational concerns become central to the negotiations alongside traditional wage and benefit discussions. Safety and working conditions also played a significant role in the dispute. Flight attendants highlighted concerns about passenger behavior incidents, which have increased industry-wide since the pandemic, and argued for better support and protection protocols. The union sought enhanced training programs and clear policies for handling disruptive passengers, reflecting broader industry challenges with air rage incidents. The tentative agreement reportedly addresses many of these concerns through improved scheduling provisions, enhanced safety protocols, and significant wage increases that reflect the current tight labor market for skilled aviation workers. However, the specific details of the agreement have not been fully disclosed pending the ratification vote, leaving uncertainty about which issues were fully resolved and which may require further negotiation. Industry observers note that this dispute reflects broader tensions in the aviation sector as airlines rebuild operations while facing labor shortages and changing worker conditions. The outcome of Air Canada's situation could influence similar negotiations at other carriers, making the ratification vote particularly significant for the broader industry. If rejected, the deal could trigger renewed negotiations or potentially another work stoppage, creating ongoing uncertainty for Canada's aviation sector. Southwest Airlines has announced a new partnership with Taiwan's China Airlines to enhance connectivity for passengers traveling across the Pacific. This collaboration represents Southwest's continued efforts to expand its international reach despite maintaining its primary domestic U.S. focus. The partnership will allow passengers to book connecting flights between Southwest's extensive U.S. domestic network and China Airlines' trans-Pacific routes, providing seamless travel options for passengers traveling between the United States and Asia. This arrangement leverages Southwest's dominant position in key U.S. markets, with China Airlines' strong presence in the Asia-Pacific region. The partnership makes strategic sense for both carriers as Southwest's point-to-point domestic network complements China Airlines' hub-and-spoke international operations. Passengers can now more easily connect from Southwest's routes to China Airlines service to Taiwan, mainland China, and other Asian destinations. For Southwest, this partnership provides international connectivity without the significant investment required to operate its own trans-Pacific routes. The airline has historically focused on domestic U.S. markets with limited international service to nearby destinations in Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. The collaboration reflects the growing importance of airline partnerships in providing global connectivity while maintaining operational focus. Rather than expanding into costly long-haul international operations, Southwest can offer its passengers access to Asian markets through its partnership with China Airlines. This partnership also demonstrates China Airlines' strategic strategy of building alliances with major domestic carriers to feed traffic onto its international routes, particularly important as the airline seeks to rebuild its trans-Pacific network following the pandemic. The partnership creates opportunities for both airlines to tap into previously inaccessible market segments. Southwest passengers traditionally focus on domestic leisure and business travel, now gain access to Asian destinations without the complexity of booking separate tickets or managing baggage transfers independently. This seamless connectivity could attract new customers who previously chose other carriers for trans-Pacific travel needs. For China Airlines, the partnership provides access to Southwest's extensive network of secondary U.S. cities that the Taiwanese carrier doesn't serve directly. This is particularly valuable as China Airlines typically focuses on major gateway cities, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York. The partnership allows indirect access to Southwest strongholds in markets like Austin, Nashville, Denver, and Las Vegas. However, the partnership also faces operational challenges related to coordinating schedules, baggage handling, and customer service across two very different airline cultures and systems. Southwest's point-to-point, low-cost model operates differently from China Airlines' traditional full-service hub-and-spoke approach. Ensuring smooth passenger transfers and consistent service standards will require careful consideration and coordination between the partners. I would say in this scenario, Southwest point-to-point would actually complement the hub-and-spoke model if timed correctly, because at those hubs, Southwest can then take passengers to points across the country. This partnership timing coincides with growing demand for U.S.-Asia travel as business relationships strengthen and leisure travel rebounds. Both airlines are positioning themselves to capture this growth without the massive capital investment required for new aircraft or route development. Success will likely depend on effective marketing, operational execution, and the ability to provide genuinely seamless travel experiences for connecting passengers. Finally, let's talk about an ANA Dash 8 that had a near miss with an airport vehicle in Japan. A serious safety incident occurred at a Japanese airport when an All Nippon Airways, or ANA, Dash 8 turboprop aircraft experienced a near collision with an airport ground vehicle during landing operations. The incident highlights ongoing concerns about airport ground safety and communication protocols between air traffic control and ground operations. The close call involved coordination failures between different airport operational units, demonstrating how complex airport environments can create dangerous situations even with established safety protocols. Investigation details remain limited, but the incident appears to have involved a ground vehicle entering an active runway or taxiway area. This incident reflects broader challenges in airport ground safety management, particularly at busy facilities where numerous vehicles and aircraft operate in close proximity. Coordination between air traffic control, ground control, and various airport service vehicles require precise communication and timing. Japanese aviation authorities are likely investigating the incident thoroughly, as near misses involving aircraft and ground vehicles can have catastrophic consequences. The investigation will likely focus on communication protocols, vehicle tracking systems, and training procedures. Such incidents serve as a reminder of the critical importance of ground safety procedures at airports worldwide. Even minor lapses in communication or protocol can result in dangerous situations that threaten aircraft operations and passenger safety. The incident may lead to enhanced safety protocols, improved vehicle tracking technology, or additional training requirements for ground personnel. Airport authorities and airlines continuously work to improve safety systems, but incidents like this highlight areas where further improvements are needed. Modern airports increasingly rely on sophisticated ground surveillance systems to track both aircraft and vehicles in real time. These systems, including ground radar and GPS tracking, are designed to prevent exactly the type of incident that occurred with the ANA Dash. However, technology alone cannot eliminate all risks, particularly when human factors and communication breakdowns are involved. The incident underscores the importance of redundant safety systems and clear protocols for ground vehicle operations near active runways and taxiways. Many airports have implemented specific procedures requiring positive air traffic control clearance before any vehicle enters runway areas, along with mandatory radio communication protocols to ensure all parties are aware of the ground vehicle movements. Training and awareness programs for ground personnel have become increasingly sophisticated, incorporating scenario-based learning and regular safety drills. These programs emphasize the critical importance of situational awareness and clear communication, particularly during busy operational periods when multiple activities occur simultaneously across the airport environment. The investigation findings will likely contribute to ongoing efforts to improve ground safety standards throughout the aviation industry. Similar incidents at other airports worldwide have led to enhanced procedures, better technology implementation, and improved training protocols. The goal remains eliminating these types of dangerous encounters through systematic improvements in airport ground operations management and safety culture. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening, and do make sure to support the Aviation Files however you can. Until next time.